Welcome everybody to my webinar for Google Maps Playbook. How to get yourself ranked on this three-pack for generator dealers, specifically generator dealers. I see there was a few people that signed up from some HVAC, some plumbing companies. Feel free to put that in the chat if you're not in the generator space, but maybe you're in the lawn space or something like that. A lot of what we're teaching is not unheard of, right? And not it's not uncommon to watch another webinar and get some information and some feedback on how to get your home service business ranked in the local pack. So we're going to be covering all of that today, and hopefully even a little bit more. And you'll be able to take away a lot of what we teach, not just the generator dealers, but in whatever home service business that you're in. Just a quick little housekeeping for myself. I just got to get my screen on record here. Let's see. My Zoom webinar is recording. All right. All right, great. Everybody ready? Somebody put something in the chat for me so I know that everybody can hear me, see me. It's all good, ready to go. Let's rock and roll. All right. Thanks, Christian. Christian's been here before. I usually say put a one in the chat if you're ready to go, and all systems are ready to go here. Okay. Google Maps Playbook for generator dealers. I'm gonna switch over here. All right. What we're going to cover today, specifically Google Maps. This does tier into the SEO end of things, but we want to specifically focus on the Google Maps and the latest updates. I'm going to show you the 5 biggest issues right now that could be preventing you from ranking on the Google Maps. We're also going to look into our proven model for ranking in the 3-pack, and there's going to be plenty of downloadables here. Thanks, Cody. I appreciate it. Kevin, appreciate it. Moving on, best tools to systematize and automate some of the heavy lifting. So there's plenty of software out there that you guys can get that's either free or very inexpensive that you can get yourself helping with the ranking, including getting reviews, things like that. So a little bit about me, why you should listen to me. I'm not an electrician. I'm a marketer by trade. Actually, I've spent 18 or more years in internet marketing, web design, web development. I've worked directly with 50 generator dealers across the country in the last 15 years now, 11 years. I've spoken at mastermind cohort events for successful electrical contractors and dealer associations like NEGDA. I'm actually going to be standing up with NEGDA next week on Thursday in Princeton, New Jersey. Gonna kind of take everybody through the present and the future of marketing for generator dealers. Looking very excited for that. Now we have a specialized digital marketing agency specifically for generator dealers that is now Power Source. I'm the CEO, and we only focus on the generator dealers, but a lot of our clients are also electricians. There's some of them do batteries, some of them do some of the more commercial end of things, but we're also members of EXA and NEGDA as well. I'm also now the author of a brand new book for digital marketing for generator dealers. This book basically unpacks all of the details in our program, top to bottom. 215 pages of a lot of free information, downloads, links, things like that. And I'm going to be offering this for free to all the generator dealers out there. So that's coming up. So every day, day in and day out, this is what we do. We design, build websites for generator dealers, electricians, all across the country. And our mission here is to help 100 generator dealers double or even triple their revenue. Like I said, this is our in-house stateside team. We don't outsource. We don't go overshore or anything like that. I've got a content marketer, social media manager, web designer, developer, analyst, everything that we need to help provide generator dealers and home service businesses like electrical companies succeed in their business. Things are getting really tough out there, a lot of competition, and a lot of things moving and happening with AI. We're very knowledgeable with Kohler, Generac, Blue Star, and all these other commercial industrial generator companies. We're not affiliated with these companies, but we are very knowledgeable in the co-op, in the marketing on demand aspects, things we could do with co-op money, things like that. So we know what's happening in the industry, and every day we get a little bit deeper. So moving on, That was my one thing. I promise everything here is going to be very valuable for you. And I'm going to break down our entire program for you. And if you wanted to get a sense of, what is digital marketing and how do I really focus on it, we've gotten this broken down into three main aspects, right? So we want to drive leads by, you know, making a great website with a lot of content, running Google ads, running Facebook ads, running local service ads, or working into the database, right? Sending email marketing to emails to estimates that never closed or prospects that never had you come out and survey their property for a generator or any kind of service, and working in that digital that email marketing campaign to help with all of that those extra leads that could have been missed. And then we want to maximize conversion, right? You want to make sure that all of that traffic coming to your website, you want to make sure that your website is dialed in. It's got all of the right stuff on there, what you do and where you do it. Most important, make sure that you've got a phone number at the top, you got a form on the site, and it's easy to navigate. People don't want to look anymore, and they certainly don't want to read. They might be very interested in about you, though. Who are you? So I would recommend, if you had to do three things to your website, make sure that it's easy to navigate. Click, 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 in and out. Make sure that you got pictures of you and your team, your owner, your technicians, your trucks. People want to work with people. So if there are no people on your website, then it comes off a little bit stale. And then the third thing is probably just have good pages and have an offer on your pages that kind of help pull them over the line a little bit. So if they're on your website, they know why they're there. So give them a reason to call or fill out that form. It's speed to lead. So that's basically maximizing conversion. So you can do that with your website, do that with your reputation. This is paramount, right? You want to get those reviews, get them on Google, get them on your website. Reviews are very important for two reasons. One, it helps with SEO ranking. It will certainly help with your Google Maps. I'm going to get into that, but it'll also help convert, right? If you've got five-star reviews, people are going to read those reviews, and that's kind of what most people do nowadays because it's so much competition. Even if they're getting referred, even if that word of mouth takes them to your website or takes them to your Google profile, they're going to look at the reviews. Just coming from one guy, depending on how close they are, is sometimes not enough. And automation, right? You want to build in some automation. I know a lot of some of our clients, when they first started with us, they sent out an estimate. There's no follow-up. And I know you're busy, and I know there's so many things and so many balls up in the air, and you're installing, and you're taking phone calls, and you're going on estimates, and it's hard to follow up on that stuff, especially if you don't have a sales team or anything like that. So having automation in place where a system can do that for you, super important. Even if you just got a system that sends a text message or an email once a week, every single time you send out an estimate, it hits them once a week. Hey, where are we with that estimate? If there's some new information you want to provide them for, a generator or any other kind of service, that would be ideal too. And then you want to optimize your results. So looking at this stuff on a regular basis, how much money are you spending? What's your average cost per lead? Do you have any kind of return on investment? Do you know this for sure? I wouldn't spend a dime on paid ads unless I knew what it was giving me. $150 a week on Facebook. I'm going to look at those leads from Facebook. Google Ads, I'm going to look at those leads from ads. Any kind of work that I'm putting into SEO, I'm going to look at the leads coming in from SEO or the Google profile and make sure that I know how much I'm spending to get these guys in. So very important to do that, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of the tracking aspect of it too. So this is our accelerated growth map. And today we're focusing specifically on the map pack over here, as more on the organic side. And I mean, this is in a lot of my material too, and I'm actually just going to jump this into the chat now. Is a downloadable document for the my map checklist. So this is a really nice checklist, and this will help you with the most important stuff. But this is our digital dominance method. So this is something that we are constantly adding to as things are growing, things are changing, things are expanding, and now the one thing that's missing on this digital dominance method is AI. And we're going to touch on that in a few minutes too. Lost my mouse. There we go. So the question is, does Google Maps matter? Our data, and we've we've checked this up with other agencies, with all the other agencies that do this kind of home service marketing. We're connected with a lot of them. Are showing 71% of clicks are clicking in that range. So those are the three map results, and then organic. People are just not they're glossing over the Google ad, the local service ads, and the sponsored ads, and they're just going right to the map, or they're on their phones. Most of the time they're on their phones, maybe 80% of the time they're on their phone, and they don't even have that option. So they're looking at who's close by, who's nearby, and who's got the most reviews. What do the reviews look like? So there's a lot happening on that map pack, and we are seeing 71% of all those clicks. So if your leads are coming from Google ads and Facebook ads, 98% of it, that means you are missing out on a ton, on the lion's share of the leads that are out there. So we're going to get into that. And then we have another, and then 67% of that, they're clicking in the first, only the first five. So if you're not on that first one or two or three, you might as well not even be there. So lots to do with getting this fair share of leads, specifically on the organic result. Okay, so this is the area that we're talking about, right? 44% of all clicks on the phones are going to click right from here. So people are going to actually click the phone number or click into your website right from here. So you want to make sure that you have Google Maps dialed in because it matters. So what about ChatGPT and other answer engines and Gronk and all this other stuff? So I do want to touch on this just for a moment, right? Um, so what is AEO? This is answer engine optimization and generative engine optimization. This here is a ChatGPT result looking for the best generator dealers or installers in Fort Smith, Arkansas, is one of our clients. And so AEO is basically for voice search. So people using the Alexas or the Googles and the different kind of voice searches that are out there. They're not great just yet with the local service results. And GEO, the generative engine optimization, this is basically what you see on Google when you're searching and you see the AI come up on top. I'm just going to go back. So this is the AI overview from Google. Will give you above all else, specifically if you ask a question very in particular to that. But this is also covers the ChatGPT, the Google's Gemini, which is now Google's Gemini, and then there's Gronk, and then there's Perplexity, and all these other chat things. And ChatGPT actually pulls data and content from Bing. So now we are shifting some of our attention to Bing and making sure that websites are optimized around that. So this is just a close up on it. So for professional generator installation in Greenwood, Delaware, All American Electric is one of our clients, and they are the cream of the crop, in Delaware for generator dealers. So important to have, and basically, how does this happen, right? So it all comes down to SEO. It comes down to content. It comes down to your local pages, your reviews, your Google profile is a heavy piece of this. Although there's not, we're not really here to talk about the AI aspect. I did a whole webinar on the AEO and stuff. Maps is still the dominant player as of right now. 2025. This is going to change, and we're going to stay on top of this, and we're going to have more webinars, and we're going to reach out with more content and more ideas on the algorithm changes for Google and algorithm changes possibly for AI. So back to Google Maps, why maps are important. So again, this is Matlock, and I just want to show you this particular customer, who has this top placement for generator installation for Fort Smith, Arkansas on the maps, and this is a grid view showing his placement in all of these areas from Fort Smith, and this is a very wide range. So this could be 50, 60 miles where he is dominating the space for the local map pack. So that's the top placement for those three results for the map pack. And then here's a quick dashboard this is what we put together for Matlock on a monthly basis. This is actually his first quarter. So we actually want to look at his total spend. this is all blended together. His installs, service, any kind of electrical leads that come in. But the most important part here is that he has 106 of these 176 leads. Excuse me. Comes from the Google Business Profile, which is that map pack. Okay, so this is a huge piece of the number of leads. 50 of them come from website SEO. We're only getting 12, 17 in the first quarter from ads and from paid search. Granted, okay, so he's only spent maybe $2,000 for paid search, but that's a lot of money for those kind of leads. Facebook doesn't convert at a high rate. Google does. The Google Maps and the website SEO convert at a much higher conversion rate. Another one that I wanted to show you is All American Electric, since we talked about them in AI. They're also dominating the space in Delaware. This is their map pack on the entire peninsula. This is the Delmarva Peninsula. Um, and you can see that they're also ranking number one. We're also trying to get them to rank a little bit up north. And pretty soon we're going to be pulling it out to the coastline a little bit. And here's their spend and their leads. So their lead share is also 120 leads in the first quarter, 40 in the website SEO, 46 in the business profile, 24 in paid search. So super important to dial in on this number. This is where the most of the leads are. You can see that, and that's why we're focused on this energy right here. So we want to make sure that we're gonna get all of these in here. Sandy, thank you. I see that. I see your message up in here. I appreciate that um, very much. Okay, so the Google Maps checklist for generated dealers. That's the link I just gave you. This will help you with that little bit of a checklist. You can just check down, make sure that you get some of these things in play. I'm gonna kind of break it down a little bit. Um, so Google Map drives calls, and you cannot rely on the pay-per-click alone. This is kind of what the point that I've been driving home a little bit. And here's how it impacts results. So at the very top of results, we have the Google local service ads, we have Google ads, and then we have Google Business Profile, and then we have your organic results. Super important, right? To be in all of these places. I'm not just talking about the maps, but you want to also run ads so that you're there, and local service ads if you can, and get yourself in the organic result. And you can sign up for, so I don't want to spend too much time in local service ads, but if you're an electrical company or a lawn care company or any kind of home service business where you do where Google local service ads has a good amount of categories that you can rank in, this has been a pretty successful venture because this is Google guaranteed, right? If I just go back to that list up here, that puts the result at the very top of search results. Super important that you get that set up and taken care of. And there's you do have to kind of work that algorithm a little bit. So to get into local service ads a little bit, you have to rank each of the leads that come in. You have to stay on top of that whole setup. And I do a whole webinar just on local service ads too that you can check out. Really what you want to do is own the search results in all these different places. Have your result in the local service ads, your map listings, your organic listings, third party listings, Angie's List. Maybe the local town has got a link to your website too. That's it's a lot of work, but those links are going to add to your validity, and it's going to add credibility, and it's going to add a lot of add to your reputation and your brand, your overall brand. And Google is now saying that it's reduced its fake maps listings, right, by 70% or more. This was since 2015. So a lot of these fake maps are coming out. So you cannot just create a Google profile in all these different areas that want to rank. This is going to penalize you tremendously. And if you have a lot of these set up, I would recommend you get rid of them or merge them all together. Get one primary Google profile. You can rank in all these other places. You just have to know how to do that. So we don't want to just focus on your primary area where your office is. You want to get ranking all these other areas in these neighboring towns. So that's why you're here. So here's some of the things that could be hurting you. You have to have an office in the city you're targeting to rank on Google Maps. So have an office, meaning you have to have somebody physically there. Or you can have a sign set up at the location. So if it is your house, and we've actually successfully done this, if it is your house, you can put a truck in the driveway, put a sign on your door. Google may ask for that verification in order to get that address verified. But if you have an office address, use the address. Don't just set it up as a service area, because it doesn't have as much ranking weight as it would if you had a physical address. Um, you know, Trying to spam Google with fake locations, yeah, that's never worked. If it has in the past, and if you're doing that now, I would recommend that you undo that. Inconsistent name, address, phone number, profile. So that means on your website, you've got your company name, your phone number, your address, and an email address. And that needs to be consistent across the internet. So not just your Google profile, your website, your Yelp, your Angie's, and all these other search engines, even Bing, needs to have the same NAP, name, address, phone. So there is software that you can use for that. I'll get into that, but there's software like Moz or Bright Local, something like that can send those citations out to all of those different search engines and make sure that all of that is consistent. And then, did you spam your city in the company name of the category? So Jim's Electric and Generator in Fort Smith, Arkansas is not a company name. So having these city names, or Jim's Electric, Wayne, Bergenfield, Pompton Plains, in the company name is not a good idea. So you want to make sure that you just have your company name. Ideally, it should match whatever your SS4, your IRS documentation says. Whatever your LLC is in, it should match that company name. Even if it's a DBA, you can match the DBA. If you want to add the word generator, so Jim's Electric and Generator, that's fine. Do that. We do that. We recommend doing that, but also get the DBA, get the state DBA for that, so that there's some proof record, some hard record that your company name is valid. Sometimes Google will just surprise you and say, hey, this is not your company name, and pull down your profile. So we want to keep everything on the up and up with the Google profile. Having it suspended is not a good thing. And sometimes it takes weeks to get that unsuspended. We've had clients that had just go and create a whole nother profile. Oh, and do you have enough reviews, right? Across the whole web. So you do want reviews on Facebook and Google Profile and Yelp and all these other places. But primarily we're talking about Google Profile. That's where the reviews are ironclad there. You can't fake reviews on Google Profile. You have to have a legitimate Google email address, and Google knows the difference between creating a new email address right now and giving a review is not going to work, right? Google will take into account how active that email address is and then allow you to give a review. So very difficult, almost impossible to create multiple reviews from bogus accounts. So you got to get real reviews. You got to focus on the Google profile. Our proven formula for getting ranked in this three pack. So the Google Business Profile Manager will check all of these different places. So important to use one software and do on-page SEO for your website. You want to get reviews, all important stuff. So here's some of the trust signals, right? Your brand authority. This is how old your business is. How old is your domain? That's going to take into account. Okay. Your verification method. You can now verify with a postcard. You can verify it with a phone number. This is the Google profile verification. If they ask you to take a picture, that will also take into account. You can also now get double verified. You can go a few extra legs on the verification to help with that. You can submit a live video recording. We've had somebody do that too, where they had to actually walk up the street from where you can see the street sign, walk up to the building, the office, walk into the office, show a lot of that proof. That higher end verification can give you better ranking too. It's a small piece, but it happens. Total number of reviews, super important. Look at your competition and see where you're at with your reviews, right? So you have 200, you have 300, you have 50, you have 25. If you're installing generators, you're doing work on a regular basis, and you've been doing this for a long time, you should have at least 100 per year. You should get a review from every single customer that you do work for. Now, the problem is that if something happens and things just go sideways sometimes, right? And sometimes the homeowner's just not happy and you have a bad experience. The first thing that they're going to do is give you a review. they're going to go right to Google and they're going to put all of their anger into that review, and now it's there. So it's really important that you press. And what happens is that the happy customers, they're happy. They want to move on with their life. They're great. It's done. Thank you. I love it. They don't want to spend any more time giving a review. So you have to ask them. You have to personally ask them on the spot. We have software where you can actually check in at the location. You take a picture of the work, a little description, sends it to your website, updates on your website. Um, you can ask me about that if you want more information. But it also gives you the opportunity to ask for a review right there on the spot. Probably the best time, the best chance at getting a review from a happy customer is when you're standing there with them. Oh, I'm really happy that you're happy. We're all done. Would you mind giving us a review? Put them on the spot, right? You want to put them on the spot and get it. Now, if you don't do that, you have to go back. You have to send them an email or you have to call them up. And then every day that you wait on that review you lose that opportunity of getting it. There's also software that will do that. They'll hook into Service Titan and House Call Pro and all this other stuff and shoot them out a message when the job is complete and repeatedly ask them for the review. So more on that automation, super important. Those are just some of the other details of that. In that review velocity, you don't want to just get 50 reviews this week because, oh, you said we got to get some reviews. You can't run out and get 50 reviews inside of 1 week. You have to do this over time, right? You want to get 2, 3 reviews a week. If you're doing 15 jobs a week, or let's say 5 jobs a week, you want to try to get five reviews a week. And try to stay on top of it. You have to insert this into your process. Recently unsuspended is actually a good thing. Okay. Um, Back end engagement, right? Routinely uploading images, updating your info, holiday hours, things like that. Stay up to date with your Google profile just like you stay up to date with your website. Your website can have really great content. It doesn't need activity every day or sometimes even every week, but your Google profile does. And a complete profile. Google will tell you when the profile is complete or not. Your store code, your logo, cover images, things that'll help with that is also just kind of creating more activity on the profile. Some local link strategies are also really important. This is kind of like linking out from local sponsorships or local town groups. You can host a community event. These kind of things are super important to helping with your authority, right? So when these links are coming into your website from all these other places that are active and happening, these are also very big trust signals. You could also have people interview. You can host an interview with a local celebrity and promote the interview on all your social media, put it on your website, put it on the Google profile, things like that. Then they'll reciprocate with a link back to your website. These are just some ideas that can kind of get things going and keep things working. Claim and optimize that business profile listing. So if you haven't followed in from where I'm what I've been talking about to get to that place where you don't have a Google profile, let's make sure that you have one. So you want to claim the business. Your business will exist out there on the Google Maps. If it doesn't, you can create a new one. Make sure you add all the proper information and get everything updated. Upload your photos and all that stuff. This is just a review of what the dashboard looks like. So this has been changed so many times, but the dashboard will actually show up in your search result if you look for your company, right? And this is your dashboard. This means that you own it, you can manage it. It says it right here. You manage this business profile. You personally need to do that. You have to have a Google email address in order to manage your own profile, and you want to make sure that you are comfortable with this dashboard. Very easy to use. Edit profile, read reviews, messages, things like that. So this is just a close up on that dashboard. All the different things that you can do with that dashboard. The performance too. Google will give you how many people view your business profile, how many people click into your website, how many reviews. You can also reply to reviews. Um, Yes. You can also reply to reviews from within this portal. We actually use software for it, so I had to double check. We use AI software that automatically replies to reviews. Having a reply out there is really important too. This also helps with the trust signals and it helps keep active. And this is just something else you can do to keep that Google profile running. Very simple, how to add updates, how to upload pictures, things like that. Some best practices: update your photos, add them on a consistent basis. Pictures of your techs, your trucks, your team, actual work. So you can act if you're out on a job, take a picture, upload it to your profile. Um, Once every 90 days. We would post twice a week to the Google profile. Um, that might be an older idea. Um, Respond to your reviews, like I said, very important. Answer questions that get posted. Even seed some of those zones. You can actually add FAQs into the Google profile too. Is there parking? Things like that that you don't need. But how much does a generator cost? This is probably one of the biggest, most searched term and key phrase in every market is how much does a generator cost, front to back, bottom, completely installed, right? So if you have a page that breaks this down, maybe give some ranges. $15,000, right? Your average home, your average homeowner, your average market, it's 15 grand to install a generator. And there are a lot of pieces that go with that. It depends on where the electrical panel is. Depends on where the gas line comes in. It depends on how messy the yard is. It depends on the local town and the permits. And there's so many variables. So put that on a page on your website. Speak it your own way. Create that page. What is the cost of a generator? That will help you get ranked. What is the cost of a generator in Wayne, New Jersey? This is probably more important because now you're localizing that question in that market where people might be searching. Don't just create a page for every single town specifically for that. You can create one, take the one, you can put in the county, maybe northern New Jersey, maybe central New Jersey, wherever kind of your region is. And then add some content on that. Add all those variables. This is generally what it costs, that kind of thing. Build citations and consistency with name, address, phone number. I touched on that. So these are all the different websites that you can rank on. You can actually be listed on. You want to make sure that all of those citations, your name, address, phone number is the same on all of these different companies, and there's software that can do that. Um, Bright Local, Advice Local, White Spark, Moz Local. So these and Yext, basically these companies will take your information and make it consistent across all of those channels, Yelp and um, Google and Facebook and MSN.com, all those different channels that feed in from these big data aggregators. You can even run a free citation consistency and accuracy check. I can't put that in the link. Maybe Christian can do it. But you can run that. You can run your information in this form, and it will tell you where you're consistent and where you're not. And then it's going to ask you to sign up for software. But you could always just go to those websites yourself, set up your account, get your account together, update that information, um, all individually. Okay. 88%. This is what it would look like. 88% inaccurate listings. It tells you where you don't have it set up. Foursquare, you're not found. Yelp is found, but it's not consistent with what your name is. Your phone number is missing on White Pages. Your phone number is missing on Facebook. Your phone number is missing on 411, and all these other type of websites. Just having it consistent will help your SEO in general. Some of the citations best practices, you can manually do it. Like I said, you can use a tool like Yext and get listed on all those aggregators. Some of the top citations for generator dealers, Google, Bing, Google Assistant, Alexa, Microsoft Cortana, Google Maps, Waze, MapQuest, Better Business Bureau, Hot Frog, Show Me Local, things like that, that you can get your information made consistent. And then lots of real reviews. So I'm going to repeat this 3-4 times, is that we need to have those real reviews in there. 450 five-star reviews. Um, Great. Helps with his ranking, helps get him out there, helps pull a prospect over the line. You get what I'm saying. This is one of the hardest things to do with marketing, is get a customer to actually give you a review. No question about it. But You know, look at your review count now. Go to Google and look at your review count and just put that in your memory, right? So awareness perceives change. So if you're aware of what your reviews are on a weekly basis, just look at it. You're gonna be and review with your team and tell your team we have 200 reviews right now, just so everybody knows we do X amount of jobs a week. So everybody needs to do their math and keep that in mind. Get the reviews in, and it should just be part of the job. And you can leverage those tools to do it, right? You can leave a printed review card. You can train your techs, plant a seed, and deliver a world-class experience. I don't have to tell you guys that. You just got to do a really good job, and you'll get yourself a good review. But maybe have the technician just plant the seed. Hey, you just thank you very much. Appreciate your time. I hope everything's good. You're going to get a phone call from somebody at work. If you wouldn't mind giving us a review, it would really help us out. It would help other customers find us. Things like you can actually just tell them, ask them for their review. They're probably more than happy to do it. Make a call after the service to walk through the review process. Hi, this is Sarah. Just want to check on your service from today. Was everything good? Yeah, it was great. Great. Would you mind giving us a Google review and just have them work that into their process? You could do that right from the front desk, right? Build reviews, recognition to your company culture, and use software to do it. So all of those services, Nearby Now, Review Buzz, Bird Eye, Customer Lobby, all syncs in with Service Titan and Service Fusion, House Call Pro, all these other companies that that offer automation and programming can hook into that. Improve keyword rankings in the local map pack as there are multiple signals tied to a review. Having the review, so this is just kind of like the documented proof of why the review works so much. It increases the number of conversions that occur when you have that 4 to 5 rating. Glowing reviews become marketing and link opportunities. That's a good idea. You take those great 5-star reviews from customers that are recent. You put it on Facebook. Put a picture of their project or the job. Put it on Facebook. Thank you very much for this great review. Really appreciate it. Love working with you. That kind of thing. You put it on your website, put it on your Google Business Profile, kind of use it as marketing content. And it makes a local business appear more credible to current potential customers. I'm just going to repeat that a million times today. Um, Now, your on-site optimization is also going to take in a very big factor on your ranking, right? So the Google Map Pack is going to look at where you're sending them. Okay, so if your website link goes to an insecure site, or if it goes to a, a bogus page, or if it goes to some long, long thing that's like ajpelectric.generacmod.com or generacdealer.com, that it's not going to weigh as heavy as your competitor who just website secure jimselectric.com. So super important to know exactly where you're sending somebody and make sure that the content on there is also relevant. It's also gives a good offer. Maybe there's a good call to action, and you have all of these other things checking down. So I'm going to get through that. Strong website, good content, user experience, paramount. Google knows where you're sending them from that Google Map Pack, and that's one of the biggest things that Google's going to use to rank your business on the Map Pack. Leverage multimedia. So you can have videos and photos on your homepage, on that page that you link them to. A page for each of your services: generator installation, generator service, generator repair, generator maintenance program, right? And then panel upgrades, recessed lighting, swimming pool wiring, rewiring, things like that, renovations. Have a page for each one of those services and make sure it's in the nav, right? Make sure it's very easy to find all that content. Pages for the sites, for the cities that you serve. So a whole section that says where to find us, or areas we serve. And then have a list of all the towns that you work in. And each one of those pages should have content for the work that you do in that town. You can use ChatGPT to help you along with some of that content. Don't let ChatGPT write your pages. It has to know who you are. The prompts need to be very detailed, and we're very aware of what Google could potentially do to all of these ChatGPT written pages in the future. So we want to make sure that it's a mixture of your writing, your words, your tone, and good content. Unique content and nearby now to pass a heat map data to the city pages. So when you're out on the job, we use a software called Nearby Now. Take a picture of the job, little description. It ports it back to the website, puts it on that local page. It gives you a heat map to show kind of where you all work. At the end of this webinar, I will pull up my screen. I'll show some of those examples. Um, and it is really great ranking information for Google. It shows Google that you're not just from that service area and out, but it shows you that you work there and you work there and you're working there and you're working there and you're working there, all these different areas that you're actually working. So important to check in at those locations. And then unique content on every page. Don't duplicate any of that stuff. Make sure that the pages are written properly, have your proper title tags, H1 tags, paragraph tags, things like that. Things that a web developer might know. It's important, but even if you have like a WordPress site, you can do that. H1 is your heading 1 tag. There should only be one on a page. H2 are subheadings. So your heading 1 is generator installation in Wayne, New Jersey. Your heading 2 could be what a generator costs in Wayne, New Jersey. Service programs for in Wayne, New Jersey. Those are your H2s, and your paragraph tags are all just regular content. So lots to keep important to keep your pages structured. That's also meta description that sells the click. So when people are looking and searching, they see your page that comes up. They're searching in your area. They're going to see generators in Wayne, New Jersey, and then a little descriptive tag. Maybe it's got an offer, $500 off your next installation, Wayne, New Jersey, things like that. So you can always do that too. Name, address, phone number, put it in the footer. That's the one that we've been talking about. It's got to match. Everything's going to be consistent. A blog on an ongoing basis? Sure. If you want to write the content, if you're done doing all that stuff that I just said doing, then add a blog. Much later. That's like doing TikTok for your business. Wait until you've gotten the foundation and then paid search layer and then automation layer and then social media ads layer, and then you can do TikTok. This is like blogs are like that. It's up there. Focus on page speed, desktop and mobile. Make sure that it's, look at your site on your phone, on the desktop, make sure it loads fast. You don't have to run it through these speed tools or anything like that. Just make sure it pulls up for you. Okay. Then there's off-page SEO, right? So what you're doing off the website is also going to help with your ranking. So like claiming your Google profile, getting a lot of citations across the web to link into your website too. Build up online reviews, encouraging the best in class tools like Nearby Now, Bird Eye, Review Buzz. Getting those reviews is number 3 here. Build authoritative links back to your website from other websites. So the local town news, Channel 12 News, Fox 5 News, having a link to your website from those big, huge companies, you can just imagine that this adds a lot of validity to your own website and will help you rank. And strategic content syndication. So make sure that you've got some kind of a strategy behind what you're going to do, why you're going to do it. Get your foundation set, your website, your service pages, and then start building the content, whether the local pages or the blog, and updating your Google profile, getting reviews, work that into your process. And yeah, simple blog post on your website doesn't cut it anymore. Take an existing blog post and syndicate it. So there's this whole signal generator approach. This is really getting into the weeds here, but I think I've said it all for this. Content specific to your local area service or something unique and interesting. Local news sites and community sites. But, the developers and the algorithms for this is basically on the EAT, your expertise, your authority, and your trust. So these are the 3 primary signals going to Facebook. And actually, there's another E in there that's recent, ones for experience, right? So the longer you're there, the more all of this is gonna help. And then there's this SEO periodic table. This is in the download that I gave you, but you can see that there's a whole set of stuff that gives you ranking points for all the different things that you do, the quality of your content, the frequency of your content, whether you're duplicating content, things that hurt you, things that help you. This is in there too. Be sure to kind of gloss over that too. It's all in my book also. Special local SEO ranking factors. So for Google ranking, I mean, obviously, right? Proximity, relevance, and prominence. Very important to have your zip codes, not your zip codes, but your local service, your towns that you're working in and that you want to rank in are important to having on your site because this is how Google will rank you. Google needs to understand that you would rather work in Wayne, New Jersey than Patterson, New Jersey, right? Want to reach for the mid to high income housing for generator installations. So focus on those towns and neighborhoods. If you don't have those other neighborhoods, Google picks tracks on real fast. Um, and this is all in the on the downloadable content too. I have all those downloads for you. But your on page, your Google profile, your website content, all of these signals that go along with getting this all dialed in, right? So this is the new SEO formula. Set up a great website with your pages, get your keyword and your GEO modifier in the title of each page, what you do, where you do it, where you want to do it. Use unique content. So this is just like a repeat of what I've been saying on all of this, and this is all in the checklist too. So generator installation keywords too. So this is a downloadable for you, but I've got all of the generator keywords for general, for location specific. So you want to do, the city or town, home, standby, generator, installation. Have that content written out on your pages. Maybe that's your title one, your heading one tag on the page, and then you write about that. Generator installation companies in New Jersey, and you can talk about the other companies too. Highlighting yours, of course. And then there's service keywords too. Service is separate. Service is in addition to your installation. Um, you want the service contracts. That's ongoing work. That's recurring revenue. So if you want service contracts more than you want the installations, build up those pages and get those pages put together with these keywords in mind. And then there's electrical keywords, electrical service keywords. Oh, gonna go back. Recessed lighting near me, EV chargers for home, EV charger installation, electrical panel upgrades, things like that you want to try to create this list for all of the services that you want to offer and kind of use this recipe to put them together and then create content utilizing these keywords. These keywords will also really help you with running Google search ads and those kind of campaigns. You can download them. Um, you can download them with that code. If you miss it, just shoot me a message in the chat that you missed it, and I'll send you guys a link. Um, you can also download the SEO checklist. That's got the SEO periodic table. It's got a lot of these items in here. That's a code to do that, to get that. A free SEO review and visibility scan. This is what we do day in and day out. We can actually show you where the biggest issues are. We actually go through those three primary services: drive leads, maximize results, optimize results, maximize conversion. And we will show you what aspects you can do more with, what aspects you're doing good with. We'll actually look at your competition, and we will show you all the opportunity where you can grow. And we do that for no cost. And that's basically it. And sign up for an acceleration session, right? We'll do all of that research, spend a couple of days, we put you in our system, we look at your market, we look at all your places, all your competition, and we show you where you guys are lacking, and we give you some valuable insight. We'll also show you our program, and maybe if it's a good fit, and you say, hey, John, you guys know what you're doing. We would rather you do this for us. That's what we're here for. But I hope this was very valuable. I am going to pull up my screen before I do that. Check out our podcast for generator dealers. That's also on my website too, but I am going to show you my screen real quick too, so I can show you what the check-in system does. Let's see. Oh, I am showing it up there. Okay. Let's see. I'm still showing me. All right, all right. All right, I'm going to go to All American Electric and show you their service area. These are their check-ins. This is where they're operating. As I said before, they're on the Delmarva Peninsula in Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and these guys work everywhere. Um, and these are their check-ins. So every time their tech goes out on a job, they take pictures. Get a funky fan there. They take pictures of the generator on site. They give it a good description, Generac preventative. Okay. They take some really cool pictures too, but mostly generators. All great content. We reuse this content for their social media, for their Google profile, things like that. But having this map on here, these are direct signals back to Google and helps with that. Same thing with the metadata on these pictures being taken in Middletown, Delaware, will actually help us rank on the Middletown page. So if we go to the Middletown local page that I've been talking about, generators in Middletown, Delaware, installation, maintenance, and repair. Here's a good picture of that. And here's our content that we've written, home standby generators. We talk a lot about Middletown. We talk about some of the locations, some of the local landmarks, commercial generators, why you should trust us. And we talk a little bit about the facts of All American Electric and the history a little bit. And then we show the actual map. Again, we show the check-in specifically from Middletown. So these are all our jobs that we've completed in Middletown, Delaware. So that's it. If anybody has any questions, you can put that in the chat. I hope this was super valuable for you guys. And it's nice to see a lot of familiar faces, familiar names. But yeah, put it in the chat and happy to answer it. I'm gonna take a few minutes and just let me know.